Well, hi there everyone. I'm Mr. Fremlin, although most of you luckily will already know that. I'm just waving goodbye to my current lot of Lancelot class and looking forward to welcoming you all into the classroom in September. I know it will have been quite a long time for some of you, and some of you have just come back in this week, but rest assured we'll make that transition as easy as we can when you come back in. I guess this is just kind of by way of hello, so I'll tell you a bit about myself outside of school. I am into everything outdoors, mountains, rivers, you name it. I love to spend time outside. I'm a particularly big fan of camping, as many of you already know. I'm also, you can probably see behind me, a keen musician. I love my music, particularly guitar and similar instruments, but all sorts of things, and I like to sing. So hopefully we'll be able to involve that in some of the stuff that we do next year. My previous experience until the last couple of years has been as a secondary school history teacher, which means that for year 6 in particular, I can bring in what it's going to be like when they make the next transition, the September after. In terms of my expectations of you all in class, I think I'm fairly straightforward, and I've attached my old PowerPoint for this, so if you don't get this first time you can have a look at that. I expect you to listen and to respect others basically, so if I'm talking or if someone else is in the class talking, we will make sure that we listen to them. All the work I set, funnily enough, has a purpose, so I expect you to engage with it and complete it. Sometimes it might seem hard, sometimes it might not be exactly what you want to do, but there is a reason behind all of it. I do say hands up to ask questions purely because there are so many of you, and I think that it's difficult to make it work otherwise. I'd love you to be enthusiastic about your learning each day. Come in with an open mind. As I say, not everyone's into every subject necessarily, but there is always something to learn. And if you can be open-minded, you're going to pick those skills up, and you might even surprise yourself with what you do enjoy. I'd like you to be positive about yourselves. It's okay to get stuff wrong. I'd rather you had a go and got it wrong and then learn from that, as opposed to sort of sitting there quietly and not involving yourself in the conversation. So please do get engaged. Always do your best. That might seem obvious, and I'm sure every teacher and every parent's probably said the same thing, but it's very, very important to try our best in all that we do. And also, I mean, I've always said try and do one kind thing every day. I'm sure most of you have been doing that over the course of lockdown, and I hope that you and your families have all managed to look after each other okay. It's been a really strange time for all of us. So that's kind of my expectations of you. In terms of things you could do ahead of September that would be really helpful to you and to me, get those times tables as solid as possible, and right through from 1 times 1 to 12 times 12. They really underpin virtually everything we do, and for year 6s in particular, those are the foundations of most of the questions that are going to come up. So good solid times tables will help so much. In terms of English, if you're able to, being aware of word classes within sentences, certainly the basic ones, maybe those determiners, nouns, verbs and adjectives, and we can build from there in terms of identifying the word and its purpose within a sentence. Just to kind of have something to put up on the wall really, when you come back into the classroom, there's a couple of pieces of work that I've set. Again, you'll find a bit more information about them on the PowerPoint, so if you don't digest it first time, don't panic. I'd like you to create for me a mountain scene. It might seem a bit odd, but I love mountains and they look good on the wall. But within that mountain scene, I'd like you to embed a few words coming up and down your mountain, which will probably be triangular, I'm guessing, although they're not all triangular. Words that describe you in a positive manner. Somewhere near your mountain, I'd love you to put a little tent. That's where you're going to be camping. I'd use phrases or words in that relate to how you think you might go about surviving year 5, 6, and how, you know, the skills you might need to cope in Lancelot class. And then from the sun, because I'm hoping it'll be a sunny scene, I'd like some rays coming down, and within those I'd like you to kind of put in the words about the qualities that you would like to have when you leave school. Whether you're 5 or 6, you're likely to be in my class for the rest of that time. So the qualities you'd like to have when it is that you make that transition to secondary school. Also, you'll see there's a little A4 sheet with some sentences, things like, oh, the things I like most are, the things I dislike are, the various useful information that we could give each other about ourselves ahead of September. So if you can fill that one in, that'd be brilliant. That one you should be able to just open and type into and email back to me. Preferably if I could have that one back before the end of this school year, that would be amazing. It gives me a chance to brush up before we start in September. And in terms of the mountain scene, I'll be fine on the first day back, would be great. If you can get it to me ahead of that time, also brilliant. I hope that kind of goes some way to answering a few questions that you might have. I realise it's a fairly lengthy video, but I look forward to seeing you all in September, and I hope that you have a lovely summer, even in the current circumstances. Alright, take care everyone, and see you all soon. Bye bye.